asked yourself, God, how can I use creativity to glorify you? Like, bruh, if I wanted you to give me one thing of worship, why would I give you many talents? They were obedient, and their obedience was a form of worship. That's why whatever you're good at, for the creative ADHD Christians out there, whatever you're good at, invite God in it.
Less. I'm not doing that on camera. I know you're gonna post it.
Y'all, it's your favorite yappers, Little Diaries, Tabby here, and today we are on day 6 of our 15 for 15. We're spending 15 days, spending 15 intentional minutes with God. And a question I had for y'all today was, have you ever asked yourself, God, how can I use creativity to glorify you? I did that today, and it led me to a story I completely forgot about. It's currently 2:14 in the morning, but we're still locked in. So I was in the shower, scrub-a-dub-dub, and I'm like, okay, what am I gonna read about? And I was like, maybe I'll learn about friendship. Like, do I want to read about David and Jonathan, like more about that? And then suddenly, the idea of creativity came up. I'm like, what does the Bible say about creativity? And I was like, what does the Bible say about being an artist or being a creative mind or dance or poetry or speaking? And then first I thought back to Psalms 45 verse 1, which says, "Beautiful words stir my heart. I will recite a lovely poem about the king, for my tongue is like a pen of a skillful poet." And this is the verse that's actually at the top of my notes for my poetry section, because I like to remind myself that like these words that I'm saying are from and for the Lord. But then I was like, nah, like God, like for real, like where are the creative minds in the Bible? Because we know that in the beginning, God created, and God made all these beautiful and creative things because he created the heavens and the earth and everything that dwells within it. So I'm like, God, you have to be talking about creativity somewhere else in the Bible. And you know me, I chat GPT that down. I said, ayo chat, where can I find creativity in the Bible? And I got sent to Exodus 31 from 1 to 6, which is our focus verses on for today. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Look, I have specifically chosen Bezalel, son of Uri, grandson of from the tribe of Judah. I have filled him with the Spirit of God, given him great wisdom, ability, and expertise in all kinds of crafts. He is a master craftsman, expert in working with gold, silver, and bronze. He is skilled in engraving and mounting gemstones and carving in wood. He is a master at every craft. And I have personally appointed Aholiab, son of Ahishamesh, of the tribe of Dan, to be his assistant. Moreover, I have given special skills to all the gifted craftsmen so they can make all things I have commanded you to make." And then it goes on and lists everything that they made. So now that we just read the backing on Bezalel and Aholiab, I feel bad, I'm not saying these names right, but we know these weren't priests, these weren't prophets, these weren't great men of God. They were literally just artists. And God called specifically, because the context of this, that Moses got the 10 commandments and he came back down and it was time to like build the tabernacle, and God gave him all these directions. And within all of it, he thought it was so important to appoint 2 people to be the artists to build the tabernacle. And to me that was so crazy, because something that we just easily forget about. Yeah, the tabernacle's there, we created the tabernacle's important. No, God had to call specific people to design, to craft, to orient, to curate the beauty and the sacredness of the tabernacle so his presence can dwell in it. And I'm just like, wow, What are some things in our life that we oversee, but maybe God is calling you to be that person, to do the thing that you're just overseeing? And I feel like that's my biggest issue. Growing up, I had one too many hobbies. I played the guitar, I played the ukulele, I was in gymnastics, I was in hip hop, I was in ballet, I like to cook, I like to bake, I was in arts and crafts. I'm just like, oh my God, I hate it so much because like all my friends are really good at this one thing and I can never find the one thing I'm really good at. And my ADHD makes my brain so sporadic and I'm just like everywhere all the darn time. Even right now, I love to vlog, I love to take pictures, I like to learn more about like film. Like I find that really cool. I love to write poetry or write short stories, and I do hair, and I like to be like artistically creative, and I'm just like, oh, I wish I was just good like one really thing and like do that. But then that's when I came across this thing that I wrote for one of my college essays, where it was like the idea of a well-rounded man. And later on this YouTube video, which I'll link here if or when I find it, about the importance of being multi-talented. God created me with the gifts of vlogging, of poetry, of architecture, of speaking to people, of yapping. And I'm too focused on, okay, God, which one should I focus on? Which one should I pour my time in? Which one glorifies you? Which one will give you worship? When God's like, bruh, if I wanted you to give me one thing of worship, why would I give you many talents? Hello? It's just like the story of the man with the bag of gold. He got 10 for a reason. He was meant to use 10. The other guy got 5 for a reason. He was meant to use 5. The one got 1. God will give you talents based on what he knows you can do with them, what you can steward with them. So why are you just trying to limit them to 1 just because everyone else around you only has 1 gold coin? Hello? If God gave you 10 gold coins, use it and double it all for his glory. I always ask myself this. I'm like, okay, God, I'm in architecture. I know you've called me to this. I know that you've made this path so clear, but I'm like, how can I worship you in it? And I'm always just sitting there like, okay, God, like, how can I worship you in this? Because like, okay, my friends are in nursing, they can pray over their patients and do all this. Okay, people are in business. I'm just like, but God, how can I do it? And it's a matter of, I just overcomplicated it and made it more difficult than it needs to be. Because the one thing I tend to forget, when even reading the story, which got me to think, God gave these people a specific way to build it. They were obedient, and their obedience was a form of worship. And I went on this website because obviously I like Googling the fruits of the names, and I found the definition of both their names. But one thing that stuck out to me within their definitions and like their legacy and their story was the fact that it said his craftsmanship was not only to demonstrate the artistic skill God has placed inside of him, but also an act of worship and obedience to God's detailed instruction. And I was like, why did I never think about that? Obedience is a form of worship. Obedience is, first off, you have to be able to hear God's voice. Okay, now you're in tune with the Lord. You are hearing the instruction he has given you. Okay, now he says do X, you do X. You're following his word, hence obedience and worship. And worship isn't always singing to the Lord or yelling his praises or prayer. Obedience is a form of worship. And it's as simple as that. Before I start a project, am I praying before it? Am I asking God to give me wisdom, to give me understanding, to give me the skill to do it? Before I write a poem, am I inviting God into my creative process? Before I sew or create or cook, am I inviting the Lord in so he can give me direction, so I can be obedient, so I can worship? And it's as simple as that. Obedience is worship. That's why whatever you're good at, for the creative ADHD Christians out there, whatever you're good at, invite God in it. Before you pick up that paintbrush, before you lace up your Converses to go dance, before you get your scalpel to go sculpt that new thing, or put them headphones on to create that new beat that you're going to drop on SoundCloud, invite God into it all. Because even if no one else can see it, remember that God sees your heart and he knows you're doing it in obedience to him. Even if no one might see that this beautiful building I built one day was orchestrated by God, at least the Lord knows I was obedient to the instruction he gave me. And when people ask me, how did you come up with such a design, this intricate, beautiful thing, I can say, it wasn't me. I was just following what God told me to do, what God told me to build, what God led me to do. And now we're testifying and spreading his name. Hence, the worship. Worship is just being in awe of what God has done. You can be in awe of the creative process that God has given you. And this is a quick video, but just remember, and I wrote it down, let your art be an offering. Let your obedience be your praise. You weren't made to make. You were made to create with God. So just create with him. Work with him. Dance with him. Sing with him. Sculpt with him. Whatever the creative thing that you've been sitting on, you're like, there's no way God can use that. That's just a hobby. There's no way God can use it. That's just a pastime. No. Invite him in, because that thing you're sitting on is like the person that buried the bag of gold. Just because it's one piece of gold does not mean it's worthless. Don't bury your talents, invest in it, because God would not have given you that skill to do that if he didn't intend to do more with it. Are you hearing? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Do I need to say it again? God would not give you a skill, a talent, a hobby, a pastime if he didn't intend to use it for his praise. So don't downsize yourself. Don't think, I can't use it to glorify God. Anything. If the stars can worship, if the rock can cry out, you're telling me your painting can't? You're telling me your crochet can't? You're telling me that beat that you made a few months ago can't? Oh, I'm sorry, because it sounds like you're limiting what God can do. Because I thought he could do exceedingly abundantly and above all we could ever dream, think, or imagine. So I think that God can use that. So come close. Come a little closer. Tomorrow, for your 15 minutes, you are pouring into the gift that God has given you. So if that's a dance, go find that song. If it's an art piece, go start going on Pinterest and find out what you're going to create. But tomorrow, for our 15 minutes, we are pouring into the cup God has called us to pour into. Because you never know. That piece you create could lead so many souls to Christ. And the only thing stopping that from happening is the doubt in your heart. And the fear of embarrassment or rejection or being made a fool or making mistakes. Allow that to happen, because how else do you grow? Construction criticism hurts. But if it's constructive, it will help build a better foundation. So, keep that in mind, and I will see you tomorrow to pour into what? Your creative abilities. Thank you. And we know God is good. God is great. I'll wake up tomorrow and go create, loving and leaving you. Bye.